Yo guys, Bibby here, and today I am doing a opinions and sort of like an impressions video. I'm going to be like way behind everybody else. Obviously the embargo went on Thursday and I was more interested in getting out my interview with Asim and revealing some of the legends that are going to be in the game. So today is like the first opportunity really that I'm actually going to be able to just talk about my experience with the game while I was there. Now I've seen so many positive things going around on YouTube, on Twitter, on people's blogs and stuff like that, which is it is realistic. It is right in what they're actually saying. Now at the same time, there's obviously been some people with negative opinions that have been flying about as well. But you know, that's normal. What people have been putting out on the Thursday is their beta version of the game. We got to play like a second build, as it were, because there was PESDay2 where they got to play like an alpha version, we'll call it, and then when we went on the Tuesday, sorry, that was like the beta version, so we call it. So I imagine that at Gamescom there's going to be like a code before it goes live version that people will be playing, so it could be that there's been improvements made since then. But as I said, on Tuesday we got to go down, we got to play the game for 3 hours. We was there 2L5. And in that time, I only managed to get about 6 games in, but that's obviously because I was doing other things as well. But my 6 games that I had, honestly, when just as a free-flowing game, it is completely different than 2016. I mean, like to the extent of the pace, to the extent of the crossing of the ball, the power that you can put in the shots, just literally everything that you can think of. It has been completely revamped in the game. The players move a lot more naturally as well. Like on 16, it felt like everyone was a little bit sluggish. Even the people like Ronaldo and Messi, you imagine to have like high agility, high body balance, things like that, still moved a little bit ropey. And you have people like Arjen Robben now. Don't get me wrong, he's a phenomenal player, but to say that he's one of the best players in the game, considering I don't think he played that much last year due to injuries and things like that, and his age to take into consideration, I don't think he's as good as some of the players that should have been a lot more high rated. Rashford, for instance, I can't imagine him being much more than about 68 or 69 this year, considering he only had like 4 months worth of profile on him. I imagine that if he has like a really good start to the season, he gets to Christmas, I can easily see that going up to about 73, 74, depending on how consistent he has been throughout the year. So yeah, in this game, the passing is it's so much more different. Like last year, I'm like a possession-based sort of player. I like to keep the ball. I like to give 1-2s. I like to make the players do the work for me to then be able to give them the next ball. Whereas 16, it just felt like it was a snowballing effect. You're passing the ball to each other, and it felt like the ball was gradually bouncing even more each time till it gets to about the 6th or 7th pass, and your player, despite who it is, you got David Silva, who's like the perfect ball controller. He can just take the ball down out of absolutely nothing and just get it down to feet, push it into space and be able to run with it. You get to him on the 6th or 7th pass and he's just got absolutely no chance. It'll just bounce off him, it'll just skid to the side, and if he's in the centre of the park, all it needs is just like a little through ball to a top striker and you're swinging down some shit creek again, really. But this, it felt like I'm going to shout out Patton here because I wanted to try and break the game. Not in the sense that obviously I wanted to get the game to crash. I wanted to try and see in 17 if that would be repeated, and I can quite honestly say it isn't. I played against Patton in the first game, and I thought, you know what, I'll try it straight away. I'll try my passing game, and I think I put together about 17 or 18 passes just up and around the field as I was pressing your L1, your X, just to get the player to move, holding on to it for a couple of seconds, seeing there wasn't anything on, I turned back and I just passed the ball around the back 4 until something broke, and then eventually a player would just slip out enough for you to be able to put them into a bit of space, and I literally did that all the way up the field. I put the ball down the wing to Griezmann and he put down, like, this was the first cross for me in the game that I did. I'd seen Patton do a few in the game, but until you actually do it yourself, you don't know actually what he's intending to do. So I put about half bar cross on it, and the ball just swung. It just swung straight into the box. Giroud, as well. Obviously he's quite a good header of the ball in real life, so they're going to try and replicate that in the game, as you've seen in the trailer when he was playing for Arsenal. He got up in the air and he headed it down. This is exactly the same thing, but this time Neuer had absolutely no chance and it went straight into the bottom corner. I mean, Neuer just literally just looked at the ball. He couldn't have done anything about it. I can't remember who he outdrew. I can't remember if he had Mangala in centre back. Sorry, not Mangala. I can't remember who he had at centre back. Sorry, because I was France. But yeah, I think it might have even been Boateng. He just out-jumped him straight into the bottom corner, and we both just literally like, wow, seriously, you can put that many passes together and it be consistent for you to be able to go on and continue in the game. That passing move, it didn't change the whole way through. If you don't think anything's going forward, if you don't see anything in front of you, then you can quite easily go back and maintain that possession-based football. Now, when it comes to the shooting, it is completely different, and I mean to the extent like if you got 1-on-1 and 16, it's a guaranteed goal. There's no way on earth you are going to miss unless you absolutely fluff it yourself, but that's nothing to do with anybody else around you, i.e. the defenders or the goalkeeper. If you miss a 1-on-1 on PES16, then it's literally your own fault, because the keepers will just dive over the ball or they'll dive out of the way of the ball. We've seen it in many streams or YouTube videos where the goalkeepers have just been unrealistic, unresponsive. They're there to make up the numbers. But in 17, wow, the shooting on it, you think that you are going to score an absolute belter. Like, you can take the most finesse shot you can possibly do. It looks like you're 16, you put the pad down before it's even left the boot, because you know it's going to go in. But in 17, you just have to keep on watching it. There was a point that I made in the interview with Asim where Bardinsky, I think he was playing sick pattern, and he put the ball into the box. Now we all know how the corners are in PES 16. He put the ball just inside, just in between the 6-yard box and the 18-yard box. And if you've got the right striker in there, just any, like Yaya Toure for instance, I know he's not a striker, but he's tall, he's got good control. If he heads a ball, then it's a goal. Simple as that. Same with Ibra, same with Ronaldo, same with all these different players that people tend to play with in the online divisions or in the my club facility. So it's just as simple as that. But in 16, I've seen goalkeepers make wonder saves. Like, it was going into the top bins, and he'd just claw the ball out the top of the corner. It's just unrealistic. It's just unreal. The saves that they can actually make now as well. Finesse is not OP in this game. You can make a few finesse shots. Sometimes they'll go in, sometimes they won't. The goalkeepers will get there and make it more of a realistic game. I know keep saying the word realistic, but that's exactly what they was going for. They was trying to make it as authentic as possible in this game, and it's easy to see how they've actually been able to do that. Things like rain come into play in this one. So if you want to slide the ball across the floor, yeah, it'll skid for 2 or 3 skids for like 10 yards maybe, and then the ball will start to gradually slow down. Obviously, as the pitch gets wetter, it gets a lot harder to be able to put through them passes. Also, you might have seen it, the vanishing spray is in effect now as well. I think we timed it and you get about 6 or 7 seconds before it vanishes after kicking the ball. Obviously, again, that wasn't in the 16 game, but it's made its debut in this one. And also something that got brought to my attention after PES Day, and I think it was Asim that posted it actually. When the ball goes in, you can actually kick the ball back into the net again. I know it's something really small, but again, it makes it it makes it authentic. Just a bit, the small things like that, you know what I mean? It's what we want in a game that maybe we won't even thought about. Those sorts of things. But on a whole, guys, it is just an unreal game. Like, there is a few negatives, like for me, sometimes the cursor wouldn't change between your players fast enough. So if someone was bombing it past you and you had, I don't know, you had a left or right back that wasn't as fast, and you wanted to just control your centre back to try and get into position for when he tries to cut in, sometimes it was a little bit hard to be able to do. But again, it's a beta game. It's the full code isn't in there. It was just a chance for us to be able to sit down and go, you know what, this is a completely different game from 16. They basically proved it without just saying all these buzzwords that we've been hearing all over Twitter for the last couple of months. They've literally put the money where the mouth is, sat down with us and said, look, here's a pad, you play it, see how you feel. And that is it for this video, guys. Don't forget, if you want to just go into the comment section, I've been trying to answer as many questions as I can in my interview with Asim. So if you do have any questions regarding it, if I'm able to answer them, and when I mean I'm able to answer them, I mean if I've got the knowledge to be able to do something and reply back to you, then of course I will be able to do that. But as I said, guys, get into the comments, just ask me a few questions if you don't mind. And then also don't forget to like and subscribe this video. I will be doing some more PES content going forward. So yeah, until the next episode, guys, I'll catch you in a bit.